As a little boy, I can remember hearing my elders say, "Stay single until you find the right woman to marry." Growing up in church, I can remember hearing the church ministers preach, "Don't have sex until you're married." I enjoyed being a kid. All I wanted to do was explore and play. My mind was nowhere on any of those things, but somehow them saying it brought it to my attention and created a goal that I had no conscious intention of reaching. So am I living my life to settle down and get married? Am I abstaining from sex until then? Is there any joy and fulfillment in being single? In a world that's so focused on settling down and getting married, having a relationship, a soulmate, a twin flame, friends with benefits, to be fully single is a rebellious act. I mean, unattached, no partner, no side pieces, no potential, super single. It's avoided like a plague. Something that's usually not the most aspiring thing to be when envisioning your ideal life. Let's not get into celibacy, but let's get into it. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, and share this with as many people as you can to help YouTube help me get this channel to as many people as possible. New York City. Yes. One of the biggest social environments in the world. It's America's melting pot of race, ethnicity, culture. The concrete jungle where dreams are made of, they say. Seems like the perfect place to mix and mingle as well. And as a small town boy from South Carolina, living here has been a small taste of that. But since the pandemic of 2020, and honestly a little bit before then, I've been a lot more reflective in my approach to mixing and mingling, being single, being in a relationship. And as someone who's always been in search for a deeper purpose and fulfillment in life, I often explore the layers and how we connect with each other in ways that sometimes go overlooked. For anyone curious, yes, I am single and celibate, but by conscious choice though. When people say this, they usually think that something must be wrong, you may be a little crazy, or you carry some heavy trauma that no one wants to be bothered with. Can we please release that idea? Because you'll most likely find an equal amount of wrong, crazy, heavy trauma with many partnered unions. The divorce statistics are staggering, and this doesn't include non-married unions. But this video is not to compare or contrast being single with being in a relationship, because both have pros and cons. However, the reasons for choosing to be single and choosing to be in a relationship have been deeply distorted. I'm here to talk about the reasons for my choice and to help expand the perspective about it. Me choosing to be single and celibate has a lot to do with the level of awareness that I have of myself. I've grown to enjoy being with myself. Notice I said being with myself rather than by myself. A lot of people are by themselves but don't know how to be with themselves. And so they pursue and get with someone else to avoid being with themselves. And if you're paying attention, you'll see the evidence of this before you get in too deep. This doesn't mean paying attention to all of this insinuates that you or the person or persons you're wanting to connect with has to be perfect. No, you are not responsible for who shows up in your life. You're only responsible for how you respond to them. When someone shows up and you make a beautiful connection, That's the first step. Many people pull that unspoken checklist, those 21 plus questions, and start planning a possible future right from that connection alone. And this says a couple of different things to me. Take note. One, there's a worry and a concern for wasted time with someone. This microwave convenience of options that we live in makes people feel like if something isn't moving along within a certain time frame, then it's cutting into the time that they could be spending opening up and exploring another option. Two, there's a worry that if certain questions or concerns aren't addressed before diving in and committing, then you feel unsatisfied or even unsafe afterwards. Those are telltale signs that someone has not been with themselves long enough to embrace and fully accept what makes them confident and proud, as well as what makes them insecure and withdrawn. And so many people crave that connection with someone because they haven't quite activated that within themselves. And so having another becomes more of a void filler rather than a complement to the wholeness of who you really are. After you made it past that connection, the next step is exploring the intention within that connection. Now be careful of interrogating someone with intrusive questions just to satisfy a checklist of your expectations. Expectations are never certain. They're only probable. They could probably go your way, or they could probably go another way. And so you express yourself in a way that puts on display what brings you joy, what you're passionate about, what you believe in, what you know, what you love. And do it in honesty and in kindness and with a pure heart. And what happens is you create a safe space for the person or persons you're connecting with to be just as open, just as honest, and kind in sharing their hearts with you. And before you know it, most of the questions that you thought you'd want to ask will get answered without you even having to ask. And it makes it easier to know if everyone involved shares the same intentions. What I've noticed in my singleness is that my intentions may be to commit to partnership, but those that I connect with are only interested in the benefits of a partnership. It's a big difference. And if you're not with yourself enough, it's easy to compromise partnership with someone just interested in the benefits of it only. You see, someone who's self-aware does not fall in love. It's a conscious alignment and commitment. They trust themselves enough to know that they can't impose on anyone's free will and force them to do or say anything they're not ready to do or say. This is a traumatic response to not getting what you want, when and how you want it. And it's the reason for lies, cheating, and trust issues. However, for a connection that's fully aligned, fully open-hearted, and open-minded, they won't have to spend days, months, years translating their soul to someone who's only seeing it from one side. It'll happen almost instantaneously within those open moments. And so being single and self-aware is about keeping an open heart and an open mind, clear intentions, being patient, disciplined, and compassionate with yourself first. And you'll eventually see and experience it with another that shares your same intention. Without those elements, anything else would be a misuse of your energy, but never a waste of time. Does this make sense? If so, let me know in the comments below. Are you single, and does this help put your singleness into a clear perspective? Are you partnered, and does this empower you to reevaluate the intention of your partnership? Let's expand the conversation here. Until then, I will see you in the next video.